Hey everybody, as promised, here's the video lecture since we had to cancel class this week. We're going to go over some word formatting. I'm going to share a couple resources, and then we're going to look at our executive summary. All right, so let's get right to it. I'm going to share my screen. All right, so in Module 5 is the first part of our business plan. And you guys will notice these are graded assignments, right? So you will get your grade, you'll get your grading feedback, and then you'll have an opportunity to make any adjustments and turn that in for a final project. So you actually get graded twice. So it's kind of like a bonus, right? And if you get the full 50 out of 50 points on each part, you know, for your business plan, you can just copy and paste that in, and you're going to score the full points for that part of the business plan. Um, so again, in Module 5, our first part is the executive summary, and there's a bunch of steps that are listed right here. I want to start by sharing a resource with you. This is Purdue OWL. When you go to Purdue OWL, there's this left-hand menu that gives you a bunch of options. The best thing to use for this project is the APA sample paper. Your citations need to be in APA format for this project. And then remember on our PowerPoint, the Chapter 6 PowerPoint, these are the required sections, the essential sections. Okay, so when I say cover page, your cover page should look like this. The name of the project, um, your name, our college, our class, my name, and the date, usually the date that you have submitted the project. All right, so that's your cover page. Table of contents we'll get to after. We go over kind of our executive summary, and then we're just jumping into the executive summary. So you'll see down here when you're doing a new section, so if, for example, executive summary, that title, that header can go in the center of the page and it needs to be bold. Every step underneath that is going to be a left-hand header. So let me find one here, right here. So literature review, and then here's the second header. So that's what our executive summary is going to start out like, right? So I'm going to go center, bold, executive summary, back to the left, still bold. Our first step is our opportunity description. So opportunity description. Just give it a command all to highlight everything and make sure you're on double spaced, okay? So now underneath opportunity description is where I start to type. And you'll see here, every time you start a new paragraph, there's an indentation. There's no line breaks in between paragraphs. So it just goes straight from the paragraph to your next header or one paragraph. Let's see if I can find an example. One paragraph with no line break in between. The next paragraph just starts with a new, like a tab, right? An indent. I think that'll be easier once we start typing a little bit. Okay, so describe the problem, need, or opportunity your business addresses, right? So again, this is back to the beginning of the class. What problem does your business solve? I'll use the landscaping example again, just because I think it's an easy one to talk about. I'm going to say there is a community need or there's a need in my community for additional landscaping services. There are several homeowners and businesses that would benefit from these services. We have an aging population in my area that can't do the work for themselves anymore. And so that is what I'm going to type here. So this is all my information of what I just said, right? With my tab. That's usually one paragraph. So now I go to the next section, bold it again, business concept explanation. Business concept explanation. Hmm, there we go. Okay. Explain what your business does. Landscaping, right? So my business is a landscaping service that provides grass cutting, tree trimming, and general care for businesses. Again, one paragraph, not super in depth. Make sure you indent it, not in bold. So I've just given a description of what my business is. Next part is an industry overview. Now, this is where you're going to have to start doing some research, right? Industry overview and target market definition. Doesn't have to be super long. We're going to go into an industry analysis and a consumer analysis later in the project, but this is just kind of an overview. So I know we talked about in class the best place to be able to find this information is going to be the census. So US Census information, Coalinga, California. There we go. The quick facts. That's perfect. So my first one is industry overview. Um, you're going to identify, okay, so landscaping, this is the landscaping industry. What are the trends and growth potential? That's where I'm citing some census. We have a population of this many. Down here, it's going to tell us homeowners, right? There are 4,161 households in my service area. And the median income is mm, $75,451, right? So then I can get over here and I'm going to cite all of that, all of that. I'm going to get over here and I'm going to say who is most likely um, willing to spend money on a landscaping service. All right. This website right here will give me some trends. Who are the people that are going to be spending money? This is the growth rate, the recent growth rate of the landscaping industry. So you can use a mix between our community, right? What is actually happening in our service area versus what are the national trends for my type of business. And that's all going to go under industry overview, right? I've typed all that here. I've cited all my sources, both the census information and my national industry information. So that's my trends, growth potential, and then the key characteristics of my exact service area. Then I'm gonna leave it here. I think you guys get the idea of the headers for now. Describe your target customers. So this resource is going to help me with who is buying this, right? But also who out of the people that I've identified as potential customers, who do I want to market to? In Coalinga, I've already found there are this many that are like this old. This many that might have a disability that they can't actually get out and do the work themselves. And so I'm going to target those specific customers. Okay. So I'm going to say that. I'm going to say I'm going to target individuals who might not necessarily be able to do the work. I've identified the following demographics: individuals over this age, individuals with a disability, individuals over this income range. Um, and then back to here, what needs or benefits are they seeking? This is a great resource for that, for landscaping, but you can also go psychographics of customers ages 50 plus with a with an income over 75,000. Those psychographics are going to give you the buying information, right? The what are their choices that they're usually making when they're choosing to go for a business. There's several resources out there that you can use. Remember, cite everything. Everything should have a citation. Um, and that's going to answer here, why would they choose my business? Why is that important? This right here, so again, opportunity description, one paragraph, business concept explanation, one paragraph, industry overview, probably one paragraph, target market definition, might be two, right? You might identify your customers here according to your service area and give a why, and then a second paragraph. What needs or benefits are they seeking, and why would they choose my business? Now, competitive advantage. Um, what makes my business different than the other industry or the other businesses operating in my industry locally? You can go online, you can research some of the specifics that the other businesses around have and say that I have a better price. If you're going to say I offer a better price, I want to see pricing schematics for other businesses. If you have a special shtick, maybe you're a college student, right? And landscaping, I'll continue on with landscaping. I don't know, you probably guys have heard there's like a moving company that's like all college students, and their shtick is that you are not only paying for a service that they provide, but you're helping people go to college because you're supporting that business. Maybe that's your shtick, that sets you apart from other competitors. Um, just some reason why people would choose you over someone else. Again, if it's pricing or quality, I'm going to want to see a comparison between you and local businesses. If you figure out some kind of special niche market or shtick that you can use, don't necessarily need to cite that. All right. Briefly explain how your business will make money. Identify your main revenue source and mention key cost considerations at a high level. So if I'm a landscaping company, that's how I'm making money. I'm providing service to local customers. My main bread and butter, I want to get repeat customers, people that are doing bi-monthly or monthly services. And then I will offer special services to businesses or one-time cleanups, something like that. That's how I will make money. Identify your main revenue source. My main revenue source will be repeat customers that get on a monthly or bi-monthly service. And mention key cost considerations. For my landscaping company, that's going to be labor, right? Number one, labor, maybe gas, because I have all this gas powered equipment. But again, it's going to be specific to your business. Think of your most used resources that you're going to need to operate. Management team highlights who's involved in running your business. Are you a sole proprietor? Why are you qualified to manage the business by yourself? If you are actually hiring other people to work for you, then how are they involved? What skills, experience, or education are you looking for? All right. So whether you're doing it just solo, you need to give a reason why you can do that. If you have other people working for you, what skills, experience, and education are you looking for? And then lastly, if your business requires startup funding, briefly state how much and how it will be used. Also, where are you going to get it? Are you self-funded? My landscaping company, am I just buying a work truck and a all of the equipment, or am I going to go on and am I going to get a loan for that to help me start up, right? Maybe I get a $75,000 loan and or maybe I get a $50,000 truck loan, right, for my work truck, and then I'm self-funding all of my other equipment costs. Okay. And that's it. Again, like I said, I think I stopped at target customers. Maybe this is 2 paragraphs. Competitive advantage, probably 1 paragraph. Economics and profitability, probably 1 paragraph. Management team highlights, 1 paragraph. Funding request, 1 paragraph. All right. So really, I think the only one that's going to be multiple paragraphs is your target market definition, because you need to include statistics and then you need to include psychographics. Remember, again, psychographics. All right, I hope that that helps. Again, you guys can email me any questions. I just want to share one more thing with you. So, you are going to be doing a table of contents. So, because executive summary is our first section, the table of contents is going to go before the executive summary, after the cover page. And I'm just going to go up to Word. I'm going to go to Insert. Okay. Let me move my shape here. Um, Insert. I can't find it, so I'm just going to say table of contents here. Table of contents. Is it review? References? There we go. I'm sorry. References, table of contents. I'm going to say classic table of contents. Okay. And now I'm going to go back down to my headers. It's better to do this as you go along, right? So I'm going to highlight the first header. I'm going to go back to the home page and I'm going to say heading style 1. All right. And then my second headers are going to be heading style 2. For these, please keep it in, or I'll do it all first. I'm going to continue on heading style 2, heading style 2. Okay, Control A, highlight everything. Sorry, put it back in Times New Roman. Again, that's the standard for APA. Back in Times New Roman, back in 12-point font, back in black text. Okay. Now, when I go back up to table of contents, I'm just going to click here. I'm going to press this little arrow. I'm going to say update table. And there, all of my headers are put in, and this is a clickable table of contents. So if I was to click on business concept application explanation, it will take me right there. It's actually not as hard as it looks. So, I mean, go ahead and type your executive summary. And then I would just start doing your table of contents, kind of like I did. Do it after, add your headers, change your font, then update the table of contents. And then you can just build off this one document. If you want to keep turning in the same thing so you don't have to copy and paste at the end, that's totally fine. Okay, well, I hope that that helps. I think I already said that. Again, message me plus office hours if you guys have questions. I'm here to help, and I hope you have fun with this because I think for all of you who are planning on becoming business owners, this will be very helpful. All right, I will see you guys next week.